Clinton made a contract with the Russians that they could nuke the country, and there would be no retaliation. I got it off the...
And after that...
And so then he went to South Africa, and now all of a sudden he just got off.
Okay, well look, let me finish this thing out, and then we got to go with that right quick. That's a part of the whole thing. Now, like I'm saying, they don't touch people who got scholarships. So after Leonard Jeffries went on the damn Donahue show and whooped the motherfucker's ass with the scholarship, he kept doing, they was trying to get him, he had the books on there. He had all the damn books. And he was like, no, fuck that, bam, bam. And damn, fucking Donahue said, oh. After that shit, they said, wait a minute, hold on. We can't fuck with that Afrocentric thing. Them motherfuckers know their shit. Plus, we don't want to mess with it because white people will even go get the books and say, hey, wait a minute. They got, not only that, they got white people saying this in the books. You see? So they was quiet about that. You see what I'm saying? Even in Colin Wilson's book, From Atlantis to Sphinx, he talked about how Zachariah Sitchin came out. They was going to get all on him, but he had so much evidence, and they said, wait a minute, let that motherfucker go. It was quiet all the 80s. This shit came out in 20 years ago. They was quiet all the 80s and nobody knew about him until the New Age thing came up, and these white people put back out Zachariah Sitchin's work. But the reason why they couldn't, in Colin Wilson's book, In Atlantis to Sphinx, he said that the reason why they didn't do it, they just went quiet. They said, we can't let the public know. Or if you ain't got no evidence, they'll beat up on you. So Farrakhan was up there, but he ain't never documented nothing. Even if he was saying something that didn't have nothing to do with what he was talking about, he's still supposed to go, these are books that you need to be reading now. In relationship to what I'm talking about, even though my subject is different. So they could beat up on Farrakhan all for 10 years and stuff and all, and he became the poster child for hate. But the simple fact is, he didn't document nothing. When you're giving scholars, see the thing about it, you can't give the people knowledge. So therefore, Imam Esau, he don't never put nobody's shit in the book on where he got his stuff from, which is a group of people writing his stuff for him and plagiarizing it out of these books. And the Earth Chronicles, Zachariah Sitchin, the Earth Chronicles is the basis for that whole thing. So my point is, but since he does take it out of the contents and says it's him, they say he's exploitable. You see what I'm saying? But the reason why you'll never hear them talk about me at all, because the people will go back and get the stuff and go, wait a minute, he got all these books up in here. You see what I'm saying? Because that's how you do it. That's another thing. It's very key that you understand how this thing went. And they tried it on Leonard Jeffries. And when they finally got to test the water. And after Donahue, after he dropped his head and was beat, balls of sweat was popping off his ass, that was it. And them crackers was all mad. They want to get into some shit, but he made them look like first graders, because he was talking about scholarship, and they was talking about their heart. Because it's just like college said, they think that you so inferior, they're never gonna come with any scholarship to you. You remember the tape from UCLA when college came with all that damn scholarship, and them Jews came with, I'm just Jewish people, they have no books or nothing. And you just think because he a white man, he got the authority. And college came and started putting out all them books like that, and man beat up on them. They was hurt. Now they got another tape where Khaled debated somebody at University of Arizona. Khaled on one side of the table and 3 white men on the other side of the table. When they got through, 2 of the white men was sitting on the other side of the table with Khaled joining his and the dean of the college stood up and said, look, not only you the greatest debater we've had in the history of this college, you are the greatest debater in the history of the world. So, you see what I'm saying? But then again, on the other hand, I don't know what this new shit is, with this whole new thing and all. I mean, leaves you to wonder, Anyway, let's go on. We got a lot of stuff we got to deal with right now. So anyway, the movie, dealing with this to end this thing, this is one great experiment. And the movie, and not only that, it's a real special experiment because they got everybody in the world over here because they was trying to look for the human soul. They made a movie about the American experiment called Dark City. Dark City is the movie about this shit. And then after they thought they found the soul, or they thought that there's no use to find the soul, they said, shut it down. When did the movie come out? 1998. And it was during the same time with this whole Monica Lewinsky bullshit. Think about it. It's all there for your ass. Huh? The Wag the Dog, which was made a year before. Now, let's deal with a couple other things right now. So this is one big experiment. Now, on October 10th, well, that don't mean shit because we're in New York. If you don't want to get a copy that look worth something, you need to go out and get the movie Small Soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Small Soldiers. And it's a movie about these two scientists or two people working for a corporation. One guy is mild-mannered, he's Jewish, but you know, that's the black element. They just do it subtle, you know, like they did at Independence Day. The other guy is this cocky white boy. One cocky white boy creates these soldiers like Rambo. The other one created an ancient people called a Gorgon. Although they're monster-looking people, the leader of the group is a black man with dreadlocks with like whiskers. That means that lion thing. And they call the Gorgon. They're a peaceful one. And their main thing is that their specialty is they hide. Like black people, we hide. We hidden amongst a diamond in the rough. But their whole thing is this. But their main concern, the leader, is to get back to his ancient land. I can't remember what the land was called. You remember? Gorgon was the ancient land. Just like, you know, you trying to get back to your ancient thing. The chief objective of the actual small soldiers was to kill the ancient black people, the Gorgons. It's all in the actual, you got to go see it. It is telling you that their goals and objectives throughout life is to kill black people. So the small soldiers, he said, our goal and objective in this movie is to kill the Gorgon, which is the Gorgons, which is these black people. They show these little monster-like people. Some guys said, but they act stupid. I said, don't black people act stupid? But it was also showing it was real humble, and you'll see they win your heart. But anyway, it's on bootleg, but it comes out on October 10th on regular video. I think November 10th on regular video. You see, another movie is called Disturbing Behavior, which you can go get on bootleg. That's dealing with the implants. How one day you got some people, they punk rockers in the group or rappers. The next day they got on the low Letterman's jacket, hair all combed and shit, looking like 1950s. But overnight, they candidates, the people go and implant them and put this implant in them and make them these particular people, this 1950 looking damn cracker like Potsy. But before they were skateboarders with big pants and all this, but they put an implant in them. But every time they think about sex, the pineal gland would tap in the movie. The pineal gland would tap in, and what would happen is, once the pineal gland taps in, they actually go crazy. The pineal gland would override it. You got it. It's called disturbing behavior. Very key that you need to understand that. Going on.
Based on what you were just saying, did you notice the test they were doing about the inborn violence thing with black and so-called black people?
Yeah.
The document that they were dealing with the serotonin, they were doing experimentation on the serotonin as far as being something connected with violent behavior. In the state of disturbing behavior, sure did. People bad kids.
Right. You got to see the movie because it's dealing with all that. Which leads us to this. They now have got some shit that they're dealing with is pure melatonin. They got the regular, the little synthetic stuff, which I want to show you this for the people that didn't believe this before. I want to show you this because we got them here. I even got some for sale, the ones we got left. I spoke in Indianapolis. Indiana. I hadn't spoken there since 95. Spoke twice in 95, came back and spoke. There was a brother down there. Indianapolis, Indiana is the home of Lilly Pharmaceuticals. Now, Lilly Pharmaceuticals is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the country. So, he said that there was a black woman worked for Lilly Pharmaceutical that worked for Lilly Pharmaceutical under the melatonin project, but then she got to the point where she didn't want to work for him no more. She must have found out something. And anyway, the guy who was telling this guy was a Boule member, said, we don't know where she is now. We think she's dead. We know she got sick. But anyway, it's a real Boule town. A lot of real big shit. They got them because they do, Lilly Pharmaceutical is big, so the people who is connected with this shit is real big, particular Boule members. Anyway, he found some of the earlier melatonin bottles before we got hip to this shit. When they first came out with melatonin about 2 or 3 years ago, the earlier melatonin bottles, and I'll read it, quote, on the back. Melatonin is a protein a protein concentration of pineal tissues. So, this is a document showing that melatonin is crushed pineal glands right on the actual document. So every now and then, I might have a few copies left. If not, I'll have some tomorrow, I'll have some Sunday. Concentration of pineal tissues. He also gave me, what was the name of that tanning lotion? Sun something. Anyway, the suntan shit, the suntan lotions, they, on the earlier bottles, they got melanin right on it. They don't say melatonin, they say melanin.
That are soaked in melatonin to prevent macular degeneration in the retina. They're literally using the motherfucker like they used to use a hog. Every piece of the hog you don't eat, only thing you don't eat on a hog is an oint. They're doing that shit for niggas now. Now, for the people who got money, this is crushed pineal gland, so this is nothing but the residue left on the damn floor that they make the melatonin pills for. Because, you know, they had them at higher dosages. But for people who are rich, you can go there and every 2 weeks they give you $800 vial of what is called growth hormone. It's the new shit. They had it on 2020 about 3 weeks ago. Dixie Carter, that cracker from Designing Women, saying that she started taking this growth hormone, she started seeing colors better, she started thinking better, and literally this stuff started reducing aging. Right, what this stuff is, they say is produced, they say it's produced by the pituitary gland. But what happens is that the pituitary gland literally regulates the melanin function of the pineal gland. That means it regulates how much melanin is supposed to be sent to the pineal and the other glands of the body based on what is needed. So they say, when they say they're getting it from the pituitary gland, that means that they're getting a vial of this shit. $800 a vial every 2-3 weeks. What's that? The Black Sun.
Yeah. We're eating the pineal gland, eating called the gastrial rice in the Black Sun, Peter Moon, exactly. Now, this is the key. So they got this shit called growth hormone, and this is the concentrated shit. So this is literally the movie Spice. You see what I'm saying? Excuse me, Dune, the movie Dune, dealing with this growth hormone. Now let me give you the science on this so you can understand some things here. Let me give you some science on this. Hard-headed as I am, every now and then I start going through experiments, and the Spirit said, take, what happens is, and the key is now, you know you got to drink a lot of water. But not only that, now you have to take enema. That's the key now, is enema. That's the key. That's what the Egyptians used to do. So, based on the advice of Brother Bafisi, we start taking this enema. And what happened was, after I took this enema, because what happens is you take the enema, there's a seed that is up in the gastrointestinal tract, which is a carbonic ash, which is this white seed which is actually the shit. Once it hits the pineal gland, it's over. Now, I took this enema and immediately my third eye started pulsating. So I walked in the kitchen. It was later on that night, and it said, go in there. You got some of that leftover melatonin shit before you really found out what time it is. Just go take 2 just to see what happened. I'm a hard-headed motherfucker. Let me show you the deal on this thing here, how this thing is. So I go and I take 2 of these damn things. Let me show you something here now. I take 2 of these things and went to sleep. Because I was cleaned out, okay? Later on, about 6 o'clock, I woke up and I hollered. I woke up hollering. I just woke up and said, hey, like that. Woke my girl up and I went on back to damn sleep. She couldn't get back to sleep. When I got up, I was walking down the street that day and the channel came in and because I was trying, and it started, because I went back to sleep, I didn't realize, I didn't dwell on what had happened. So it had to come back in memory. What had happened was, I didn't tell her what I did. I didn't tell her that I took some melatonin that day when I woke her up. I told her the next day. And then the spirit came, the Azazel, the one that's on the damn Fallen movie, came and said, when you take that shit, whoever that person that they got it from, you receive his whole essence. Well, see, she was saying this and I was laughing because the day before, they came and told me in the spirit what the hell happened. I had actually literally remembered what happened. So when she told me the day after, I just smiled because I knew what the hell had happened. What had happened was this. Basically, when you take this shit, nothing actually happens because of this. You have a certain dream realm already encoded in with the whole melanin thing, with archetypes, collective unconsciousness, and all of that. So, the reason why these white people are taking the melatonin is because these white people can't dream. The little bit of dream sequences they've had with past lives is over. The other dreaming is for the next jump into the future. Because they don't go into the future, they can't dream. And when you don't dream, you don't sleep. Only see, the dream keeps you occupied to carry you through the sleep. And because they don't dream, because we're talking about a beyond thing, which they don't go beyond because they weren't made of that stuff from the beginning, because the beyond is the beginning. And because they weren't made from the beginning, they can't dream. So therefore they can't sleep. And they got to take the melatonin to dream the motherfuckers that they killed dream. The reason why we don't dream those dreams because we got our own fucking dreams. So, because I took the damn enema, and because just so happened that the damn pill that I took that day was the actual pill, and in the pill was the dream sequence, so when they killed the motherfucker, it overrode because it was so strong, I literally tapped in. Subconsciously under my dreams, I was dreaming this motherfucker that I took, this pill, dream. And it was kind of light because he's just a regular person. But when they killed him, the reaction was so strong until it tapped into my dream. And I literally saw the time, I tapped into the time when they was killing his ass to make melatonin pills. I tapped into that particular time, and that's what I hollered. Because somebody came up from behind me and grabbed me. See where I'm coming from here? I literally tapped into the time when this guy was, right before this guy died, the time before he died, the memory was trapped into the melatonin because that's memory. And that particular part I dreamt that night, and that's why I hollered, because I was hollering his damn dream. And the next, I had already realized the next day, Azazel was telling her, man, when you do that, you're taking on the whole person's essence. Then I knew what's up. Now with them, because they have stopped dreaming, they gotta use our dreams just to sleep. That's like a vampire. Get where I'm coming from here? They made a goddamn movie about it. You just didn't get it. This movie was about 1999, and the technology was to trip in on somebody else's reality or experience. It was called Strange Days. You just didn't realize because you was thinking it was a damn machine, and they were talking about melatonin. Go back and look at the movie. How many people saw the movie Strange Days? You remember the whole thing about Strange Days was that they were people, they had a new technology, which was the state-of-the-art shit developed by the government, where you literally got off on somebody else's experience. Okay? Well, in real life, that's melatonin. You get it? Which they put out the movie, kill the rap motherfucker in it, and they put out the movie Fall of 95, kill the rap person. In the movie Fall 95, it came into real life a year later, Fall 96, with Tupac, and then with the Biggie thing. You heard me talk about it. What's that?
The movie Blade, the guard that they had to get was Viagra, which is another form of melanin. To get that guard, you had to have the blood of that black man.
Okay, which we're going to get into right now. But anyway, let me finish this off. The deal is, I dreamt this particular person thing, and the movie Strange Days, if you replace the device that gave them this particular virtual reality with melatonin, you get the whole thing. Go back and analyze virtuosity. The virtual reality is, in fact, the damn melanin thing. See where I'm coming from here? Is the melanin thing. That's what one of the keys is on this. Now, the other thing is the movie Blade. The movie Blade basically is about the black woman. How many people saw the movie? Go see the shit on the goddamn big screen before it leaves. The movie Blade, Wesley Snipes, who was the Heru warrior energy and the chosen one, he and Christopherson had only gone to a certain level of killing the vampires physically. It wasn't until they hooked up with the doggone sister, who was a hematologist, that taught them how to kill them on another level. And even when he was dying, he had to bite the sister because the sister had created an antidote that would kill, that would actually revive them from vampirism, which was through what? Sickle cell, which ties in with the same movie, Species 2, where they kill the entity through what? Sickle cell. You see what I'm coming from? Through the movie, which is sickle cell. So, based on the actual science, she was able to take them to another level, even with the other stuff that they dealt with, that she invented. But another key is you have to look at two sides, because there's two stories going on. The history of the vampires, take out the vampire story and just look at the old ones as the history of the black race, but not with the vampire thing. See, they got stuff crossed up in this mythology. But remember, the old ones, the younger guy got on top of the older ones and was able to take over the older ones where he did one thing. The older ones through thousands of years had forgotten their history. And he tapped into the history and was able to learn certain secrets about the mystery. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the mother goddess. You see what I'm saying? She was the ultimate mother in the actual thing, was the black woman. And she looked good like a mother too. You know, they always get the sister up in there. She don't look worth a damn. That's not by accident. You see what I'm saying? That Whoopi get more roles than anybody else. And it's not that Whoopi, now don't get me wrong. Whoopi is a nice-looking woman. You just didn't know it until the late 90s because they didn't put the stigma on her with that Feely bullshit with the color purple. But Whoopi ain't a bad-looking sister when you really look at it, but you just don't like the bitch because you know she's a Uncle Tom motherfucker, so she's ugly based on her essence. You see what I'm saying? Always, you know, they got in the center square, just a grinning and shit with Hollywood squares and all that old fool mess. But my point is, going back, this other sister in the movie Blade was fine as shit. Which leads me to a movie that escaped us called Call the Conqueror. You gotta go rent it. You can't get it on bootleg, go to Blockbuster or go buy it. Call the Conqueror. Call the Conqueror is about the black goddess The woman up in there is this ancient woman. That's why they put was an Asian-looking woman, was the woman Tia Carrera, Hawaiian or whatever, represents the black woman. And the evil is what we get ready to get into in a few minutes, is her essence. But the other sister was a slave girl, although she was white. She ended up being a part of the Great Mother, and when you go see the movie, you're going to find out that the two females in the movie is one single entity, or two halves of the single entity, called the Conqueror. You see what I'm saying? But, which leads us to the particular part which we're going to get into now with this theology of evil that you got to understand in a few doggone minutes. So let me just go on. So I guess we're going to have to go and end this particular, what you call it, but I want to say one other thing before we end this particular hard copy. What time is it? 5 minutes to 9. So we're supposed to get out of here at 10:30 or 11. So before we deal with that, I want to deal with this particular part right here. Before we go into the real scientific stuff, I want to deal with this. Now, I was in New York. I spoke here the last time. I went to Buffalo. Spoke here the last time. We left that Monday. I went to Buffalo. I spoke that Tuesday. Got back on that Tuesday or something. Anyway, I didn't leave New York until that Thursday. But let me tell you what happened. I was in New York on a Thursday night in July, walking around Brooklyn. I walked 6 blocks, and I didn't see a soul at all. Now, Giuliani can clean up New York, but poor people don't mean because you poor, you got to stay in your damn house. That's one of those damn rights of the poor motherfucker to go sit on the front step. And if you in the damn ghetto, or if you in the damn country, you get a big ass, put you some ice cubes in a big old mason jar, and sit on the front step. Now that's the right of poor people, is to sit on the damn front step or sit outside in the damn summer with some fucking ice water if you ain't got shit else. So my point is, something is going on when I'm in New York on a Thursday night in July and nobody is out at all. I was telling her when I came to Atlanta, Georgia, during the weekend on Fridays, you can count heads. It was that many people used to be downtown. Now there's nobody at all. The streets are clean. My point is this an underpopulation, and I'm believing in actuality that you people you see is a few people that's decoyed to come out and programmed to come out to make it appear like there's a whole lot of people here. There's less people than what you think it is. The cities are underpopulated. Now, to let you know what I'm talking about here, here's a document that came out on ABC News on the September the 7th, where they're talking about all these damn buildings in the inner cities that they got to tear down, and they got to tear these particular buildings down for one reason. They have to tear these buildings down because they don't have enough people to occupy them. And they say in this particular part, where they give the summation of how many people have disappeared, they say in Philadelphia in 1950, the population was about 2 million people. Today it's 1.5 million people. In Detroit, it was 1.8 million people, and now it's about a million. About a million. In St. Louis, in the 1950s was 850,000 residents. Today it's only 35,000 residents, and all over the place, people are missing. Well, you say, well, they've gone back down south. That's bullshit. I was down south speaking last week, the same time, and in Columbia, South Carolina, Northern South Carolina, they got the same thing. They say, hey, the people are gone. They say, well, where are the people? Well, they're going to the bigger cities because they can't find no jobs here. You see what I'm saying? They can't find no jobs. So if the people are migrating down south, why the hell, why is it when I go home, ain't nobody out and there's nobody there? The shit when I left, this shit was a 3A high school, you know, based on sports. They got 3A, they got 4A, they got 6A. That's in the smaller towns. It was a 3A high school getting ready to go to a 4A high school when I left. Now that shit is a 2A high school, which means that all the people gone So my point is they have literally, basically gotten rid of millions and millions of people in this experiment, and they got a few people programmed to come out every day to fool you to think there's a lot of motherfuckers here. But remember now, we have divorced ourselves from around people that we know on a mass case because we don't want to know a lot of people on the mass case because niggas get on your damn nerves. So the less people you know, the more it's easier to function out here. So based on the culture now, you understand where I'm coming from? The people are gone. I just wanted to put that there, and we can go through this particular other part. Another last little hard copy thing is this. When I was in Philadelphia in '96, I saw this CVS drug. Since then, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Indianapolis, and the whole East Coast is now taken over with 2 drugstores. It's different in New York because, you know, you got all this. But in most of it, it's CVS is taking over and Eckerd. That's it. But CVS is all the way down the doggone tip of Florida, all the way up to Philadelphia, and it was a northern chain, and all the way out west. The key is, when you get ready to lock a people down, people, this is a drug culture, not just hard drugs, but basically prescription drugs, but people are really run on over-the-counter drugs. So to make a people lock down is to take the drugstores and run all the mom and pop drugstores out and make the drugs to the point where they're centrally located in one place, in one company or 1 or 2 companies, and then when you shut them down, the people are begged to be slaves just to get their motherfucking Tylenol. This is a very, so my point is the whole siege is they did it with the banks. Everything became chemical up here. Everything down south is either Wachovia or Nation Bank. You see, but they did it with the banks. The drugstores is all consolidated now. That means it's one entity. You get what's coming from here? So when they doggone shut things down, you see what I'm saying? All they got to do is put the chain on the drugstores. In the grocery store, they just got 1 or 2 little hotels. They just take that in the back room. This is a part of the control. Very key that you understand that. Now, let's get into the lecture. Okay. Let's get into the lecture. So we can deal with some things here. All right. Let's deal with some things. First of all, I don't know where to start, so I guess let me get some stuff here so we can start somewhere. What I want to deal with right now is this, and then we can go around the country, around the what you call it. Do you have access to that? This Mark of the Beast by Trevor Ravenscroft is talking about they are scared of a Leviathan energy. Now, to understand the history of Leviathan in the book of Isaiah and in Revelation, they just mentioned Leviathan. Leviathan also, the history of Leviathan goes beyond that to Alexander Hadel's book, The Babylonian Genesis, which is a key book. Unfortunately, there's not been that much written on Babylonia other than the mythology for years, so this is still a standard reading book, The Babylonian Genesis by Alexander Hadel. Both he and like Gerald Massey before him, when you understand the history of Tiamat, you understand the history of Leviathan. And this is what we must clear up and try to understand at this particular time. If we don't get nowhere and get no further tonight, you must understand this shit. And you must understand that pure evil is your essence. Now you're saying, that motherfucker, that done gone crazy. Now see, he was going all right for the last years, but now he's running out of shit to say. So now he done turned to the damn extreme, like all the rest of the people. That nigga done turned to some shit, the satanic, baby burning cult, and all of that type of thing. But we must understand this particular theology of evil if we understand this particular part as pure energy. But in order to understand this, you must understand a history of the primal universe, which we've been dealing with. But I have to go back to this particular part on the great mother aspect of it so you can understand what's going on here. And in order to do this, we must understand, because this connects right with the Christ. Before the Christ was Jesus, 2,000 years ago, the Christ belonged to a school of satanic energy. No, this is some heavy shit here. Of satanic energy, which was not moralistically evil. It was the energy that was stored at the end of the world for the original people to get their particular energy to destroy this motherfucker that you designed. That's what the deal is. But since we're not dealing with fundamentalistic, and since we're not dealing with some bullshit that a person is coming to tell you some shit and don't document it, since we're dealing with scholarship here, we can look at this thing on another level. And this is very important because nobody out here is teaching on this particular stuff right now and all. I know you got it. I know you got it because we done spoke on it before. So, but I'm saying it's just a small breeze. You see what I'm saying? A little small current that understands this, but this is the gift. If you get this, this is the ultimate gift, which is the treasures of darkness in the book of, what did I say that was? Was that Isaiah? Or Isaiah 45. I will give you the treasures of darkness. And this breaks the key to the Jesus mystery, and nobody gonna ever give you this because other people have been too scared to immerse themselves in the study to learn about it. There's a man in Brooklyn that understands this thing also, Bill Lilly. Brother Barcisi understands it. His name means the God of heaven and hell. You got to understand this science because you can't get this particular science because it's all about good with everybody else because that's the easy shit. So this is some other stuff. This is the theology of evil that you got to understand on an advanced level, but it's not talking about evil in the aspect that you know, but it is. But you must understand this because we're living in a time right now where, as they say, well, you better be careful with that knowledge because as you keep going in that knowledge, day becomes night and night becomes day. And we have now crossed the threshold where there's a certain amount of stuff that has to be getting to the planet. And so when I explain it all, you can understand this thing. Okay. In the beginning, you got Tiamat in here. You got Tiamat in here. Get her name. I want to spell it the right way. But I want to spell it two ways. I want to spell it the correct spelling that they have it in here. Tiamat. But they put M-A-T. But in Egypt, this would be Tiamat. This is Maya. So you want to understand the Mayatean energy? You must understand pure evil. Ain't nothing good about this shit. But then again, we are listening to some other people's theology other than our own. And it's been turned around. Now let's deal with this thing right now. First of all, we are dealing with formulas. Okay? We're dealing with formulas. Tiamat in the beginning was the ancient. It's Tiamat in Mesopotamia. It's also Typhon. Typhon in Greek. It's Babylon. What's that? Baby. It's also Lion. Or that's also, which is the baby lion, both in Mesopotamia, but the word Babylonia starts in Hemmitt. It's a Typhonian word. In the beginning, before the dynastic area, you had what it was the Typhonian or what you call your Draconian. Typhon in Egypt, in Greek, equals the word Dracon. Drakon. Drakon is the ancient Egyptian word for pre-dynastic Egyptians, where you get the word dragon from. Before the dynastic Egyptians came, you had the Typhonian, Draconian, or Ophidian realm. These are the people of Atlantis, Lemuria, Alchemoria, Sirius, and the beginning. They were later on overthrown by an evil god by the name of Ra. The difference between Ra and Amun-Ra. Babylon, Nut, all this is the same shit. Different names of the great mother. Nut, Apit, which means Ty, so Tiamat also is Ty, or Ty-E-R-T, Tyre. Get all this? Access Jeremiah, Book of the Beginning, Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, and another book that goes into complete Typhonian mythology, Natural Genesis, 2 volumes, which is the last book that A.B. Classics just put out. Tyre. But also Apit. Apit is also another form of the god Apep. To let you know, this is all a form of the great mother. Now, to document the shit, get from Fetish to God of Ancient Egypt by E. Wallace Budge. You could also get the Legend of the Gods by E. Wallace Budge. In just about any Egyptian mythology book. Ra, at the beginning of Ra creating the world. Ra created the world, and the actual energy of Ra creating the world comes from what? Ra overthrows Apep. Apep is the great mother. Make no bullshit about it. Apep is the great mother. Tiamat later on becomes Leviathan. The shit that you scared about. Leviathan is what? The great dragon. Drakon. Typhon. Apep is called what? The dragon or the serpent. Very key that you understand this shit. Very key that you understand this. I talked about this the last time. Apep is overthrown by Ra. Ra is the son or subordinate deity which has his group of gods, which in actuality is children of an older group of gods, which were the gods of Tiamat, Nut, Gaia, Apit, Apep, Tyre, Drakon, which is basically called chaos beings or chaos gods. Chaos gods. The chaos gods rule before the gods. The chaos monsters rule before the gods. They are the mothers and the fathers of the gods. The gods are a lower class of beings and subordinate beings. The chaos gods, after being overthrown, was turned into human beings. So we are the mothers and the fathers of God. We are. We are the mothers and the fathers of God. Now, the key is they are called chthonic deities, and they are mortal enemies of the gods. It is not fitting to call us gods because we are the mothers and fathers of God. Later on, Leviathan, Tiamat also is the dragon Leviathan. Leviathan or Tiamat has a son who is now this is the key. This is what you must understand. Before the word Christ, because the son of Apep, this is Apep. Let me wipe this off because this gets confusing with all this shit on here. Look. Y'all all right? Explain this thing to you. This is Apep. Her son is a Typhonian deity later on adopted in the Osirian pantheon. Her son is Sebek, which is a Typhonian form of Set or Soot. Sebek is a crocodile deity. Now, Raul Nefer has Sebek with Anubis or Anpu, but he is not necessarily wrong because Set's first zootype or his first image is that of a dog. So Anpu is nothing but a later day form of Anubis, is nothing but a later day form of Set Typhon. So when he says Sebek, which is a crocodile deity, it's all interrelated. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, Sebek is a crocodile deity because the Africans understood one thing. The lion is not the damn king of the jungle. If you walk into a lion's den, you might be able to negotiate and get your ass out of there. Depends on whether you're hungry, depends on whether he's fed, you striking the wrong way. Sometimes he might just walk around and don't even fuck with you. Okay? You go to a shark, jump in the water with the shark, depends on whether he see blood or whatever the deal is, he might not even fuck with you. They say that most of the time they are peaceful animals. But there's only one animal in the whole animal kingdom that there's no fucking negotiation with, and that's the damn crocodile. There is no negotiation with no damn crocodile. Crocodile plus anything is crocodile food. Bottom line. If you jump in the water with a crocodile, not unless you're a good person who can wrestle, there ain't no negotiation. He's not just going to swim around and go like flipper and shit. It ain't happening. So Sebek is the ultimate symbol of chaos, or the sun. Now, the original Egyptian word for Messiah comes from Egypt, is Messi. And Messi is, in fact, let me read this. This is coming from the book The House of the Messiah by Ahmed Osman, which he believed that Tutankhamun was the Messiah. Well, his thesis was off, but he dropped a lot of science up in here on this thing. And this is some stuff. At the time of the coronation, the ruler became the bearer of the divine kingly office. They're talking about the coronation of the Pharaoh. And the coronation ceremony included the purification by water, the anointing of putting the royal attire and holding the scepter of the office and having 2 crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt placed on his head, and the declaration of the fixed royal names and titles. The king was anointed with an oil. It later on becomes olive oil with the Greek thing. In Egypt, the king being anointed with oil is but with the fact of crocodile oil. Crocodile oil. And the original source of the word Messiah is the word the word M-E-S-S-E-H, which is the word for crocodile. In so many words, the word crocodile. So the word Messiah means crocodile, because today we're going to prove that what you call Satan is the one true Messiah. Now I know this is kind of embarrassing because Satan became the scapegoat for all damn people. But what we're going to prove here today, first of all, this is not about the Satanism or some shit or some satanic people where you go to hell and all that type of stuff. This is something totally different. You see what I'm saying? This, we're going to prove today based on what it is this here. You got an ancient form of God that was turned around into something totally different. But that particular part that is turned around must be identified because it's the true power. But the true power of this God is not a God of love and compassion. The true power of this God is a God of evil, in the sense that evil is good, it's divine. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to leave you hanging, but we're in 1999, basically. So we must understand advanced part of mystery. Now, if there are people up in here that's just coming into this shit for the first time and this is scaring you, you'll just remember that you're coming in on the tail end of people that's been dealing with this shit for over 10 years. But we can't hold back no more and spoon feed because the people won't understand, because our people will never understand shit. So the certain amount of people, for the respect of the people that's been in this shit for the long haul, they got to advance further. This is grad school. This ain't no damn introductory. If you want introductory, there's enough tape for that shit. You see what I'm saying? There's enough tape for that stuff. Now, last time I was here, I talked about the Titans. The Titans are also Titans. But this is interesting. I'm going to go right to the goddamn Bible in a few minutes and show you some shit. So it won't make no motherfucking mistake about it. Who's supposed to be saved? I found it Wednesday. So I'm going to bring this shit right to your ass in a few minutes. Right in the Bible, the good book. Show it to you right now. It's just that you never get it if you don't read the Greek shit. Because the Greek mythology is now going to be the glue for the Egyptian thing, because the Egyptian thing, they have still held back millions of documents from us, but they fucked up. They thought the Greek shit was white, but it was black, and they put it all in the Greek mythology, so that's the glue. But I'm going to show you something based on this Titan thing, and something I found in the damn Bible Wednesday, which is the crown and glory to this shit. I'm going to show you something. The Titans, the Nephilim, the Titans is Titan, and in Chaldea it's Shaitan. Shaitan and Lucifer and all of that was overthrown. The Titans were the original rulers of the universe, sons of the mother, ultimately Gaia. What's that? G-I-E? G, what's that? G-A-I-A. G-A-I-A. Shit, okay, yeah. All right, Ham. Shoot. G, and then I got the shit looking bad. That looks like Chinese. G-A-I-A. Gaia, which is the same as Apep, which Ra overthrew Apep. Do you know that the original creation story of Ra's creation story is called the Book of Overthrowing Apep? And Apep is the goddamn great mother. Apep is the dragon, which in Greek, the word typhon is the word drakon. Okay? So Ra, evil Ra. If you want to get into how evil he was, Go get the book, The Everyday Life of Egyptian Gods, and see how fucked up this motherfucker was. But you can't find it because, like you figured out, it was in the coffin text. But if you look in the back of the book, they say the coffin text, there's got some things say coffin text before the pyramid text or before the dynastic thing. It's something like that they talk about in this particular stuff. Now, Gaia, or Tiamat, gave birth to the Titans or the Satans. That's why you got to go get the Harold Bloom's book, Omens of the Millennium. Omen means what? Amen. Hidden. Omen, devil child. Amen. Omen is Amen. Damien, which is Amen, Amen, Omen, Amen, Omen, Amian, Damien, demon. The original god of the devil is called Agos Damien. Good demon. Now, the Titans was overthrown, or the Typhons, or the Typhonian in Egypt was overthrown, and the blood of these ancient gods was used to make men and black man and the black woman off of titanium dust, which is melanin. And from the overthrowing of the Titans, Adalabath, Ra, Yahweh, or whatever created the physical world. Okay? Then goddamn it, let's see this right here. Let me turn right here to the y'all bear with me. Let me find it right here. In the Bible thing, I got it right here. So you can see it right here. It goes in Revelation 13. Revelation 13, verse 8, and Revelation 17, verse 8. It says, and I will quote, who the ones are supposed to be saved, to let you know. It says, and those names are already written in the book of life, the ones that are supposed to be saved, of the Lamb, slain or killed from the foundation of the world. Now, if you read the Greek thing, or if you read the Babylonian thing, and if you also read the Bible, it was Lucifer that was cast down in a lake of fire at the foundation of the world when man was first created. Well, wait a minute now, hold the fuck on now. Do you hear what this shit just says right here? In Revelation, they say the ones that is supposed to be saved are the ones that were slain at the foundation of the world. Well, even in Christianity, the original story is Lucifer people was goddamn thrown out of heaven. Right? So they're saying the people that's supposed to be saved is them. Well, wait a minute, I thought that was the devil. Well, what does the devil have to do with people being saved? Because we are Satan. Titan. Get the Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. And look up Titan in the whole thing. In Harold Bloom's book, Omens of the Millennium, which is a Gnostic, this guy is a translator of all types of scriptures, say that the damn Christians got a whole bunch of shit fucked up. And in the book of Job, it says in the original Hebrew version that they was not talking about Satan, they say the Satan of the Titan, one of them, as a whole race of ancient people. And if you look in his book, Omens of the Millennium, and look in it's in paperback now, it was in hardback, it's in paperback, and look real close in his particular book when he starts reading about the fallen angel, you will find out that the fallen angel is not really a bad person. And in so many words, it's us. So many words, it's us. Now, it goes on to say that those who were slain from the foundation of the earth, of the world, also in Egypt. Now remember now, in Egypt, the scriptures say, if you get the Legends of the Gods, a little $7 book by E. Wallace Budd, and look up the creation of Ra, or by Ra, E. Wallace Budd. And in that particular book, the book of creation is called the book of overthrowing Apep. And they said that So if Apep was overthrown to create, and Apep is supposed to be the demon monster, what the hell is she doing being saved in the Bible? But it's telling the truth. We're resurrecting something that's wrong. So, those who were slain from, are y'all getting this? Those who were slain, for the people who was here the last time, we talked about the Titans and how the Titans was overthrown. The Nephilim was overthrown. The fallen angels was overthrown. That's why they put Denzel ass in that shit. Denzel Washington as Azazel, because that's who he was if you get the story. He said at the beginning of the day, at the end of the movie, he said, oh, if you people were listening at the end of the movie, I said the time that I almost died. Go back and look at the movie Fallen. And then you understand who Azazel was. Now, Egypt, okay, so those who were slain at the foundation of the earth, okay, let me go back to this. It says, in the book it says, that those names who are already written in the book of life are supposed to be the ones who are supposed to be saved. Revelation says that there's some names, is the book going to be open. And those names who are written in the book are going to be the only motherfucker saved. Okay? Now, but they say the ones who do not have their name in the book, those particular people will be cast in a lake of fire. They'll be cast in a lake of fire by the people whose name in the book is the fire. Because the only people who carries the fire is the motherfuckers from hell. Not heaven. Heaven is some wheat nuts. Bullshit. Look. Listen. Go and get some mythology. You can, let's see, I'm going to tell you, the name of this guy's name is, hold on one minute, so we can deal with this. I want to deal with this. So y'all all right? Yeah. Let me deal with this so you can understand something here. Hold on 1 minute. J.K., I want to get this bibliography going. I want to get this man's name. He and you wrote a book. Supposed to be in Greek. I'm going to get this guy's name. His name is, hold on 1 minute. Bear with me 1 minute. The name of this guy's name is something like, let me see if he write it in here. Jung wrote a book called, it's Jung and another guy, I think his name is Carini or something like that. Anyway, Jung and this other guy wrote a book called The Primordial Child and the Mysteries of Eleusis. And in that particular book, they go on, in the end of the book, they got a goddess by the name of Kore. K-O-R-E, which is also represented as the core of the earth. And they say that Kore will give birth to a child, and that child is Dionysus, which is Osiris, is not born in heaven, he's born in hell. And that's the damn Christ. Now listen. He's born in hell. So those who are already written in the book, who were slain at the foundation of the earth, those were the gods that were killed off to make the earth. Their ashes, which is melanin, a titanium dust. The phoenix rises up from their ashes. The Christ is the phoenix rising up from the ashes. Well, what the fuck is the ashes? The ashes is called the Titan's dust, or it's also called the realm of Satan. So Satan is in actuality the primordial ash in which Christ rises up. Satan is the Christ. Now, how many people got problems with this? How many people are confused? Not problems, because this was a class. We all black people. How many people are confused? Raise your hand about this Satan being the Christ. Be honest. Don't be no fuddy-duddy now and don't understand what I'm saying. Okay, if you're not, let me explain the shit anyway. All right. Then again, using the good old King James Version. and the scriptures cannot be broken. Also, you want to get the work for Jeremiah, but if you can't get the work for Jeremiah, you can get it documented right here in this one little book, Hermetic Magic by Stephen Eldred Flowers, Ph.D. Stephen Eldred Flowers, Ph.D. Now, we're not talking about Jesus. That's a made-up name for Roman conquest. With Paul that sold the motherfuckers out and put together Jupiter in Rome and Zeus and put up the word Jesus or Jesus or Jesus. That's fake. Christ comes from Messiah or Christos, but Messiah in Egypt is crocodile. Crocodile is the god Sebek. Now, based on Matthew, in the Egyptian god Sebek, Sebek later on returns as the beast in the book of Revelation. So the beast in the book of Revelation is the Christ. Now, go into further. The word set-typhon, which is the original word of Satan. Now, look at this. Set-typhon is known in Egypt as what? The ass. The donkey and the ass. Right? What does Jesus ride into Jerusalem on? An ass. What does that motherfucker slew the Philistines with? A jawbone or the ass? Who is that slew the Philistines with a jawbone? Who? Samson. Samson. The word Samson is serious. Documented in Matthew. Is that how you spell Samson? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Some crackers got a name stuff like that. So I don't know. Fuck. Okay, Samson. Sam is the same as Cam or Ham equals what? Black sun. Sirius. Amun-Ra, the hidden god. Now you're saying, well, what's the difference between Ra? Ra just means sun. Amun-Ra means hidden sun, which is coming from Amenta, and Amenta is hell. All of this is the deepest part of your subconscious. There's a difference between Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra is Osiris, Horus, Set, and basically the whole underworld people rising back up, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Ra is just the damn sun who is the enemy of everybody who want to keep this bullshit running. Yeah, I'm right. So when they wrote the shit, Stargate was telling the damn truth about Ra created a group of people for slaves. That's what happened. Now, Samson slew the Philistine with a jawbone of an ass. The ass is his power. In Greek, they got a guy, Apuleius, and the golden ass. Jesus, or Christ, rides into Jerusalem on what? On an ass. So what is it? Does he deliver to Jerusalem, or what is it? You know? Anybody know the thing that does he ride into Jerusalem, or does he deliver Jerusalem?
That's when they were brought into the kingdom of the Jews.
When they crowned him king, the reason why they crowned him king is because he got into his divine power, which was the ass, which is Satan or Set-typhon. Now, what is the mystery behind this? In order to understand the mystery, you got to go to the Herculean story. Hercules rises up. In order to get his powers, he got to slay these different beasts and these giants. After he slays these beasts and these giants, he's awarded the golden apples, the same as the golden fleece, the same as the Christ, basically. He becomes his Christhood. The mystery to the Bible is that Jesus slays the dragon, or he conquers the dragon. When he conquers the dragon, when you conquer mathematics, You become mathematics, you get on top of mathematics, mathematics becomes a part of you. When Jesus conquered the beast, he became the bestial power that he conquered. It's a alchemical text in the plane of your soul, getting on top of its primal energy. There's 12 beasts, 12 titans, 12 signs of the zodiac. There's beasts in the signs of the zodiac, which is 12 components of the actual soul.